Welcome back. Outside Minds podcast. Because you've already seen too much, bro.
They only added it so it could be like a ritual.
They're saying there's these, the end of times, right? There's all these signs.
Do you think we would know? Like, do you think the general public would know this game?
Take a picture for $5. You have a purpose in life, and if you don't fulfill it, you will come back until you fulfill it.
Welcome back to the Outside Minds podcast. I'm your host and creator, Stilo Free. This is the other host and creator,
The 420.
And today we're gonna do what all of TikTok has. Well, not all of TikTok. We're gonna do an episode on Severance today. Severance, the series. If you haven't seen it, it's a mind-bending thriller. It's crazy. Tell them about it, Todd. What's the premise?
There's a company or whatever, right? And
it's crazy.
They have workers that go and clock in, but they use what they call an innie, which is like, I guess, a clone or a replica of them. So they can do the job for them.
Yeah.
It gets pretty twisted in there.
So basically, when you go work for this company, they're like, do you want to be on the severance floor? And you're like, all right. Some people are like, yeah. You go in for this procedure, and they put this chip in your brain. And so what happens is, right when you clock in at 9 a.m., boop, your outside self doesn't remember anything. And your whole workday is just you working. And then at the end of the day at 5 p.m., boop, you clock out. And then it's almost as if that whole workday didn't exist. So for your outside self, it's like, oh, dang, I get to have this whole part of my consciousness that gets to work for 8 hours a day, and I don't get to remember any of it.
Since they go up in the elevator and that's where the transformation starts, I wonder if their like original body is in limbo or something. Like, where is it?
Oh, because that's getting into like simulation theory and stuff, right? Because it's making you think about the whole orbital thing. We're gonna get into that. What do you think, bro? Would you do that? Would you try it? The severance procedure? That's way too crazy, right?
Yeah, and putting a chip in your brain and like not knowing really what's happening on the inside.
Yeah, because the whole psych, for the people who haven't seen it and you're still watching this, I don't know why, there's going to be spoilers. Maybe you don't want to watch it, but the whole psychological thriller part about it is that their work selves are like tired of it. Like they don't want to be there no more. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not able to communicate with their outside selves and be like, hey, this is not popping in here. Like, we're slaves down here. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So it's a crazy show. Get into it. Who's your favorite character?
What's his name? The short, fat dude?
Dylan?
Yeah.
He's funny.
That was hilarious.
What
bro.
about the waffle party, dude?
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that was insane. Yeah, there's this place called the Perpetuity Wing.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because it's basically like this part in the workplace where they learn like the history of the company and like this history of this company and like turns into a religion. But anyways, it's crazy. We're going to get to more of that later on. But basically, if you get enough points, you get a perk to where you go in the Perpetuity Wing and you stay in this bed and these weird women come and they have sex with you and you have this crazy like...
You get an experience.
Yeah, it's insane. It's super insane. What are some of your favorite scenes from the show, bro?
Well, more recently, like I said, was where they went into the goat farm and they had those like...
What are the goats about, bro?
I don't know. It was like a Mormon-esque vibe, right? They're all farmers and they're like, see, they don't have... What was it? Pouches.
Yeah, pouches.
Yeah, they thought the other people had pouches, so like I don't know what all that's about, but the goats are weird. It's either like a sacrifice thing or experiment thing.
Yeah, because the first time was in season 1 when they found the goats, right?
Yeah, that's when they first started.
Because they were like wondering, because they're in this workplace, right? And it's like all these halls and this maze. So like basically, you're supposed to do your work, and then I guess they don't really wander off, but I guess some of them do. And then they find this place where they're just some random goats, and there's this guy feeding some goats, and he's just like, "No, they're not ready yet."
Yeah. And then what about the dude dressed in the big red goat outfit or whatever?
Oh, in season 2. Yeah, and he has a big old goat head.
Big old goat head on. Yeah,
that's like some fucking ritual shit.
Yeah, that's
dude.
some ritual shit for sure. That's what I was thinking for that. It's some sort of ritual thing, but we don't know yet.
My favorite character, I don't know whether to take him seriously or not, dude. Is Rickon.
Oh
The
yeah.
fat dude. The one that writes
Well,
the book.
See, I don't know if he's like, because his wife is telling him like, yo, like they're just,
But aren't they an odd couple?
they really are.
It's like, because I keep hearing it on the internet, because there's this whole side of TikTok that's like, it's like Severance talk, you know what I'm saying? If you like one Severance video, like you're going to get all the theories. We're going to watch some Severance theories on, we're going to watch some TikToks in a little bit. But people are saying like, how are they together? Like they're a really odd couple. There's a lot of shady things about him, but he says funny things to break the tension, like at the perfect time.
Yeah,
like when they're trying to figure out like Mrs. Selvig and Mrs. Cobell, and he's like, we could just call her Cobelvig.
Yeah. Just dumb little stuff like that. Yeah.
And he's like, his character is basically like, it's like the epitome of like a new age kind of self-help author, kind of like, you know, love hippie kind of idealistic kind of person where, you know, like he's kind of like that character, you know what I mean? So it's funny to see that, you know, like portrayed in the context of that, because he is a lot of comedic relief, I think, and I think that's why I like his character. But yeah, there's a lot of shady stuff about him, because if you listen to how he talks, he talks like Miss Cobell.
Yeah.
Like he kind of has this weird like old English, like, and that's how some of the Egans talk. We find out.
And he listens to everything she says, like with no question.
Yeah.
Like, I'll change that for you. I'll do this. I'll do that.
Oh yeah, he's trying to. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that later. Basically, how he's
making the second version.
His book is all about basically not conforming to mind control and how that's implemented in the workforce, and then basically like they find his book and then they want him to write a version that's going to help them mind control more.
Yes,
which is crazy.
It's just like the opposite version.
So yeah, I think he's like a big key to understanding what the show's about, or he's got to be a plot twist in there somewhere. What did you think about when Mr. Milkshake got the black paintings?
Oh yeah, that's remind me of some schizo shit. You know, like some people have manic episodes and they just paint black figures. Like it's a real like schizophrenic thing.
Oh damn! Yeah. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a rabbit hole.
Yeah. Well, we'll look into that too.
But no, let's talk about the perpetuity ring though, which is crazy because here's a theory of mine. There's a whole question as to what revolving means, and then we'll get into that too. But when we talk about the perpetuity wing, it's like a museum of the workplace.
Yeah.
But it's like, why is it called perpetuity? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because perpetuity means perpetual, and perpetual means to keep something in motion.
And they have like ancient pictures.
Yeah.
Like
crazy so it's like, stuff. Oh, like this is the CEO, and then this was the CEO, and they set it up to where it's like a religion, and even like it comes down to even like the handbook that they have is like you kind of have to follow the handbook like the Bible, which is a big theme in the story. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if at your workplace they're like, oh, like this is the Bible right here, like you gotta follow like everything.
Like, these are gonna be your new beliefs.
Yeah, and about like not even like just workplace rules. It's also about like, you know, like morals and stuff
ethics
like that.
And stuff. Yeah,
that's insane. But that kind of does give you like a picture into like how like the workplace is today, how they kind of just, you know, like try to force that on you. You know what I'm saying? In some places
they adjust it every time.
Have, like,
you know, something new happens.
Yeah, ethics seminars and stuff like that.
Yep.
But let's see, what else do we got here? Boom. What are the goats for? We already talked about that. What is revolving? So basically, we find out in the bathroom during the overtime contingency that Helly is an Egan. And then she's talking to that. I don't know if that's Kier she's talking to or it's just another Egan, but she's talking to him. And he was like, yeah, I want you to be there for my revolving. Or we're like, what is revolving?
Yeah, it's weird.
Do you think that's them like transferring consciousness into a new body or something like that?
Maybe because they need someone in the family to take over the company, right? So maybe it's just been the same like person owning it the whole time, but keeping the consciousness in the family or whatever.
Yeah. Which is crazy because it's like the weird thing about this series is that all of the cars are like
old, like 80s,
90s, 80s cars.
Yeah.
And like all that tech inside of the company is like
way advanced.
Yeah. But then the computers are like 80s computers.
They're old school computers. Even the graphics on the computers are
maybe it's like an alternate timeline or something. Or this also fits into
a government project.
This also fits into my theory that I think the whole thing is a simulation. Because remember we just found out in the last episode that the whole town is called Kier. Oh, yeah, this is the blah 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 and all of Kier.
And didn't they go to like a all snowy place? In like the second episode,
inside of the simulation.
I'm thinking it's inside a simulation because, right? Didn't someone just pop up out of nowhere or something?
Yeah, the thing with the Ortbo, the retreat. Yeah, they don't know how they got there.
Yeah,
but the thing that makes me think it's not a simulation is that remember when he came out of the simulation and he said his hair was wet.
Yeah,
and he got home from work and his hair was wet. So that makes me think. It's a simulation inside of a simulation.
Yeah.
You know? Like, Severance is just a layer to it, I think.
Well, I mean, they have, because if it is a simulation, there's integration because they come in as regular people with the severed people, right? The people running it.
Yeah.
Even the girl, she pretends she's severed and she comes down.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so if it is simulation, there is a intertwining because there's regular people mixed with severed people.
Yeah.
So it's either cloning or intertwining.
Damn, I didn't even think of it like that, bro.
Yeah.
This show gets deep, guys. It gets deep. I hope you guys have seen it because you guys are going to know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the thing that they said too about the retreat is that they had the 24-bit music when they were playing the video, and that's like video game music.
Yeah, video games.
You know what I'm saying? And also too, they were seeing like they're like twins and stuff like that. So if they're seeing stuff that's like being projected to their consciousness or something like that, or they're just seeing stuff that like people can kind of just program into there, like the weird thing was when they got back from have we seen them come back from the retreat and then go back to work yet?
I think so.
Did they even say anything about it?
I don't think they mentioned anything about it. That's why it's like, because that was a couple episodes ago already.
Yeah, but then they were saying, as you know, Irving's gone.
Oh yeah,
but they
didn't
talk about why though, right?
They didn't say why. Yeah, but that's where he's gone from.
So maybe their innies don't even know that the retreat even happened. It was just simulated to them.
Maybe it's a possibility.
That's crazy. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, so the whole time might be a simulation. Oh, the work is important and mysterious. Did you know before I showed you that video what the MDR work was doing and shit?
What
the data sorting?
Yeah, I knew about the numbers, but I didn't know specifically that information.
So MDR, if you guys haven't figured out what MDR is yet, go on TikTok. There's a bunch of things about it, but there's this one TikToker that figured it out. We're gonna watch 2 of his videos. Play that one right now.
So I'm rewatching Severance, and what Mark and the others do as a job is like right there in front of us. Refresher time, they all work in the macro data refinement division, looking at numbers, finding the scary ones, and placing them in a bucket. Oh, and remember, severed employees only remember their work lives, whereas their outies remember their outside life, and neither bleeds over. It sounds great on paper. Now fast forward a bit to like episode 3, when they take a field trip to the Perpetuity Wing, we learn that Kieran discovered that the human soul can be mapped into these things called tempers, and there are essentially 4 of them. Woe, Frolic, Dread, and Malice. Essentially unique levels of each of these 4 is what makes a human soul unique and individual. Now if we jump back to episode 1, check out the 4 buckets when Mark sorts the numbers. These are in fact the 4 tempers. So what they're doing is mapping people's brain scans to hopefully find out a unique way to piece together everything that makes a human soul a human soul. Severed employees must do this job solely because they are a blank slate. No prior emotions, therefore emotions are pure whenever the numbers are selected. I personally think that this is a way to create an entire severed workforce, hence why there's so much room for expansion down there, but also could be a clever way down the road to maybe somehow like bring Kier Egan back. I'll expand on that in a later video.
Yeah, see? That's crazy. So
to bring them back with a new consciousness.
Yeah. So there's actually this thing called the Lexington Letter. Have you heard of it?
Mm-mm. What's that?
So it's like an extra piece of literature, like lore. That's like because you can actually get like Rickon's book. Did you know that? Have you heard about that?
No,
you can actually listen to it. It's like
That's
an hour.
dope.
It's like an
That's
hour
dope.
audiobook.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, but they also have something called the Lexington Letter, where it's like this letter. I think it's a letter from someone to someone else. I think email chain between this girl that used to work for Lumen and this newspaper writer that she's trying to get it out to, but she's telling them like her experiences in there, and basically she's saying like, yeah, I work at MDR, and like after I completed one of my files, like a crazy car accident happened in the real world, and I think it's connected.
Wow.
So the fact that they are sorting aspects of consciousness and trying to figure out how to build human consciousness, and you can also connect that to the Lexington Letter theory, where she's saying like stuff is happening in the outside world, like it kind of points to like mind control. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to watch the next video. The next video is kind of like about mind control. And if you guys have ever heard of Project Montauk, this is the theme in the show too. So let's watch it.
His banana sandwich is crazy, but I think the Montauk clue is the key to all of this. So in this episode, Irving's supernatural computer has the file name of Montauk. Instantly, my brain went to the conspiracy of the Montauk Project. If you don't know what this is, rumors claim that this was a huge system of experiments being conducted in the lower levels of the now decommissioned Montauk Air Force Station. A series of elaborate hallways and labs that kinda sounds like Lumen. Test subjects were put through a bevy of torture, physical and mental, in order to have their mind be fractured into pieces. Once done, they were put back together, but some were buried deep down and reprogrammed to be activated later. Basically manipulating memories and personality, with one reason to turn these subjects into sleeper agents, which ties in with the ideographic cards from Season 1, training for them.
That's
potentially crazy. Peggy's car explosion in the Lexington Letter. Many did not survive these experiments, which ties to Dylan saying that only 1 in 5 files are completed before expiring, and explains the massive cemetery outside of Mark's neighborhood. One of the main goals was to wipe someone's brain, wake them up, say that this is your new god, follow and listen them, specifically done for the, quote, betterment of humanity.
That's so crazy.
Essentially mass population mind control, which sounds like Kier's religion and is Children of Kier. I believe that the Montauk Project is the backbone to Severance, and we're purposely not seeing these darker aspects potentially down on the testing floor. Other details include time travel to change the past, specifically the American Civil War.
Insane.
And once the site was decommissioned, stairwells were cemented over, just like Wellness at the beginning of this season. I go way more in-depth on
Yeah, so that's crazy. It's crazy how he keeps bringing back the point of how like it's kind of like a religion, and
Yeah.
Kier's kind of like trying to make himself like a god. And
The
stuff.
god, yeah, like you're gonna wake up with no past knowledge. This is your new god.
Yeah, so basically the cool thing about that is because simulation theory ties into Gnosticism, and Gnostics believe that this realm is like an illusion, basically. So you can think of that as like the severance floor, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta really kind of forget, basically. You don't have memory of your higher self. You only have memory of what's around you and your reality. So basically, in order to break through that in that religion is through gnosis, which is knowledge, basically. And the crazy thing is they have something that's called the demiurge, which is basically like the creator of this illusion realm. And you can liken that to basically Kier, and his religion is like the handbook, you know? And basically the Gnostics say that's like the Old Testament, because they don't believe in the Old Testament, because the demiurge is the god of the Old Testament. So it gets deep. That's my connection to Severance and Gnosticism. If you guys haven't seen the show, go watch
it ASAP.
It's right in the middle. Where do you think the show's gonna go from here, bro?
I don't know. They're leaving it pretty open so far. You know, there's a bunch of different ways, but I think we're gonna learn a lot more, even like this next episode.
Yeah.
Because they've left a lot open these first 5 of this new season.
It's
so
fucking amazing writing, bro. And
well,
the
it's
attention
crazy.
to detail.
Yep. The crazy cliffhangers at the end. You know, you're like, oh fuck, we gotta wait a week. You know, it sucks, but that just means it's really good.
Yeah. Another thing that fits into simulation theory was that someone online was talking about how some of the shots look like computer chips. Like if you see like the shot from where she's on the table in the beginning and you see her like laying on the table, like it looks like a computer chip like that.
Oh, okay.
And there's like a bunch of different theories like that, but I don't know.
I like the new intro, you know?
Oh, that's the other thing I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So we might have to clip this right here, but anyways, here's another one of my theories. My theory is that when you see the first intro and also you see the second intro, you see him in like these pajamas.
Yeah.
And they look like company pajamas. But not only that, the reason why I also think they look like company pajamas is because he has his work badge. So it's like, if we're like trying to figure out where Miss Casey is, what if they have Miss Casey and she's just right there chilling on the floor below the severed floor, and then she only goes to work when they want to clock her in to do her wellness thing to see if he remembers her, you know? And after that, she just goes down to maybe that little hallway, the little tunnel where they bring the elevator thing or whatever. I don't know. Maybe that's where they keep all the people that have to live there and they just have work pajamas. But I think the intro is a clue as to what could really be going down, because why would they have him in just some weird pajamas that we've never seen him in, and then he has a key card
and then he jumps into his own head.
Yeah. And then also too, Ben Stiller's like a executive producer on the show, and he said that everything in the whole show, like there's a detail for everything.
Oh, I bet there's nothing on accident. Everything's on purpose.
Yeah, so I don't know what's gonna happen. I think it's gonna be a simulation in a simulation.
That's what I think.
Because when Kobelvik was trying to escape, it seemed like she was driving for hours because she was driving, and then the next scene is her waking up on the side of the road as if she's going to continue driving.
With the one random house right there.
Yeah, she looks at the sign and she's like, oh, damn, 237 miles to whatever town she's trying to get to, you know what I mean? So it's like, if she's already been driving that long and she has to drive more and through some winter snow, that could just be a crazy big simulation.
Yep.
That's what I think. I don't know.
I can see that.
You remember how Irving and Bert met up in the real world?
In the real world? Yeah. That was sad for her.
And then and then he just invited him over with his husband.
Yep.
What if his husband's like someone in Lumen?
Oh, that's what I was thinking too. Dang. The handler.
Dang. What if Bert's an Egan?
That's interesting. That's a possibility too.
That could be why he's gotten so much leniency.
Yeah.
Because didn't he break a bunch of rules and they just let him go?
Let him go, and they don't even talk about him.
Yeah, he's just having Irving right there, just chilling in his department all day long.
Yeah, it's definitely fishy.
Yeah, we're coming up with theories on the spot, folks. Anyways, if you haven't seen Severance, go see that. What else have we seen lately that was really good?
Heretic, yes, that was crazy. Yeah. Heretic was great. That's question religion and mind control. That was a wild one right there.
Have you ever seen Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Oh yeah, I watched that on mushrooms.
What?
Bro, that was trippy.
What about the hot dog fingers?
Bro, when they first were in the elevator and snapped into like action, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
And he's all explaining it?
Yeah. That was wild. Yeah, that was a good movie.
What about Squid Games, man?
I didn't watch the second season. I heard a bunch of reviews and I was just like, I don't think it's worth my time. It was good
until like the last 2 or 3 episodes, honestly.
And the next season's coming out June 27th.
The next season?
Yeah. June something. It's already.
They're gonna have a next. They already filmed
Netflix is already promoting it.
Oh my god, bro! If you're me, you don't want to go watch that.
That's why I haven't watched it yet. I watched the first season. It was cool.
Unless they do something like, oh, that was all a dream the last 2 or 3 episodes. Maybe I'll reinvest. But even that's a joke. That's fake. A big suspension of disbelief.
Oh
yeah. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in, folks. Today, we talked about Severance. We stay live. We stay outside. We hope you guys are doing the same thing. Thank you guys, outsiders, for tuning in. If you guys like the show, like and subscribe. I keep talking about how I'm going to put us on a podcast streaming platform. That's going to happen pretty soon, probably within the next week or so. I just got to do it. We're going to do it soon. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Stilo Free. This is
Dafo 20.
And we out.
Peace.